Have you ever thought about who truly shaped the dark legacy of Hogwarts? What if one of its founders was more than just a great wizard, but the mastermind behind a dangerous ideology? In today's video, you will find out how Salazar Slytherin's influence still echoes through the wizarding world. The world of Harry Potter has seen many dark wizards, but few stand as tall as Salazar Slytherin, a founder of Hogwarts, a visionary, and a man whose ideas refused to die even centuries after his time. But what made him so legendary, and why do generations of dark wizards still follow his path? Salazar Slytherin lived around the 9th or 10th century. Little is known about his origins except for a single clue. He came from a swampy region, as mentioned in the Sorting Hat's song. Alongside three powerful wizards, he founded Hogwarts and became the head of Slytherin House, named in his honor. For years, he was the closest ally of Godric Gryffindor. But that friendship was doomed. Slytherin was obsessed with blood purity. He despised Muggle-born wizards and fought fiercely against their admission into Hogwarts. His beliefs clashed with the other founders. When no one supported him, he left the school, angry, betrayed, and unwilling to surrender his vision. But before leaving, he ensured his ideas would live on. Deep within Hogwarts, he built the Chamber of Secrets and placed a deadly creature inside, a basilisk, a serpent meant to purge the school of unworthy students. His plan failed in his lifetime, but his legacy of fear and elitism lived on. What happened to him after his departure remains a mystery. His direct bloodline vanished over time, but his descendants on the maternal side carried on his influence, some for good, others for evil. Salazar Slytherin was likely the most powerful wizard of his era, a master of the dark arts, a skilled legulemens capable of reading minds, and a Parselmouth who could command serpents. His gift for speaking Parseltongue was so rare that only his true heirs could open the Chamber of Secrets centuries later. His influence didn't end with his death. His descendants shaped the magical world in ways he could never have imagined. Among them were the Gaunts, an infamous pure-blood family that clung to his beliefs. But one name stands out: Tom Riddle, later known as Lord Voldemort. Voldemort was the last known heir of Slytherin. His mother, Merope Gaunt, married a Muggle, shattering the blood purity her family worshipped. This betrayal fueled Voldemort's hatred and drove his obsession with ridding the world of those he saw as unworthy. And so with Voldemort's fall, the bloodline of Salazar Slytherin seemingly came to an end, unless, of course, you believe the controversial events of The Cursed Child. Salazar Slytherin was more than just a founder of Hogwarts. He was a visionary, a revolutionary, and a man whose ideas refused to die. Even centuries after his death, his influence lingers, shaping the beliefs of witches and wizards, fueling conflicts and leaving behind a legacy as dark as the chamber he built. But what if Salazar Slytherin never intended for his legacy to take such a sinister turn? What if his vision was more complex than the history books suggest? Perhaps he saw himself not as a villain, but as a guardian of magic, a protector of a world that was growing dangerously close to exposure. Hogwarts was founded in an age of fear. Muggles were beginning to grow wary of magic. Superstition turned to violence, and wizardkind found itself hunted. Burning, drowning, hanging. None of these methods could truly kill a skilled witch or wizard, but they revealed something far more dangerous. The Muggles were watching, learning. They were beginning to understand that magic existed. Slytherin saw this as a warning. Unlike his fellow founders, he did not believe peaceful coexistence was possible. He saw the fear in Muggle eyes and knew it would never fade. To him, magic was a rare and powerful gift, one that had to be protected at all costs. Allowing Muggleborns into Hogwarts was a mistake, a risk that could one day lead to the destruction of wizardkind. He was not alone in these beliefs. There were others who agreed, who feared what would happen if magic fell into the wrong hands. They whispered in dark corners, gathering in secret, sharing their concerns. Slytherin listened, but he was not yet ready to act. He still had hope, still believed his old friend Godric Gryffindor would see reason. But Gryffindor was different. He believed in bravery, in standing tall, even when the odds were against him. To him, wizardkind had a duty to protect the weak, to teach those who were born with magic, regardless of their bloodline. Slytherin called it foolish idealism. Gryffindor called it courage. Their arguments grew heated. Other founders tried to mediate, but it was no use. Slytherin saw their refusal to act as weakness. Gryffindor saw his insistence as arrogance. In the end, their friendship shattered. Some say Slytherin left Hogwarts of his own will. Others whisper of a duel that shook the castle to its very foundations. Whatever the truth, he disappeared. But he did not go far. There are stories, old and half-forgotten, of a hidden network of wizards who shared his vision. They called themselves the Keepers of the Bloodline, sworn to protect the purity of magic. Some say Slytherin founded them. Others claim they found him, offering him a purpose when he had lost everything. He may have left Hogwarts, but his work was not yet done. He had built the Chamber of Secrets, but it was not meant to be a tomb. It was meant to be a test. Only his true heir, one who understood the weight of responsibility, would be able to open it. The basilisk was not a weapon but a guardian, a final defense against the day when Hogwarts might fall into the wrong hands. Yet history is written by those who remain, and over time, Slytherin's name became something else. His legacy was twisted, his vision reduced to a tale of hatred and fear. His bloodline survived in shadows. His descendants carried his name in whispers. The Gaunts were the last known branch, a family that clung so tightly to the past that they collapsed under its weight. By the time Merop Gaunt gave birth to Tom Riddle, Slytherin's once great lineage had been reduced to little more than madness and desperation. And so the greatest irony of all, his final heir, the one who would take up his name and claim his legacy, was the very thing he feared most. A half-blood. Voldemort saw himself as Slytherin's successor, but he was never truly his heir. He twisted the old beliefs, warping them into something even darker. Where Slytherin sought protection, Voldemort sought domination. Where Slytherin feared exposure, Voldemort craved power. Yet despite this, the shadow of Slytherin still lingers. His mark remains on Hogwarts, in the very foundation of the school he helped create. His house, his chamber, his bloodline, they may be gone, but his influence is not. Some say his greatest mistake was leaving Hogwarts, that if he had stayed, history might have been different, that he and Gryffindor could have found common ground. But others believe it was not a mistake at all, that Slytherin saw the future more clearly than any of the other founders. Perhaps he knew what was coming. That the world of magic and the world of muggles would never truly exist in harmony. That one day wizardkind would be forced to choose, hide in the shadows, or fight to survive. And perhaps even now, in the deepest corners of the wizarding world, there are those who still believe